is what I want for the jingle on my podcast. It's going to be called John Bolton's podcast. No, that impossible. There's no you in Bolton, but I guess that doesn't matter if you're singing it. And I'm a writer. See if you can work that in some way. Basically, just make me sound awesome. Cheers.
Day 3. Don't answer the phone. I don't know what to say about this, really. It's just a sordid, grimy, squalid little movie that seems to essentially alternate between a sort of bizarrely cartoonish killer slaughtering women, well, strangling them, I don't know. Not really sure what you have to do for it to count as slaughtering. I suppose cut a throat or disembowel or something. I don't think he does that. I'm pretty sure he just strangling women, first exposing their boobs. That seems to be, I don't know if that's him as his MO or the director's MO. Somebody involved in the making of this film really likes boobs, like a lot. Like, I think every woman in the entire cast is contractually obliged during the course of the film to get their boobs out. The 70s or the 80s, I forget when it was made now, it doesn't really matter. 1980, I think. It's directed by a guy called Hammer. Don't let that fool you. It is not a Hammer movie. Imagine that. I don't know how many, I can't remember. There's a lot of boobs in Hammer horror films. I don't remember. Devil Rides Out, I suppose there was probably boobs in that because of all the sort of ceremonies and such. What's the? I don't know now. I don't think there are any boobs in the Quatermass films. Anyway, he's not a Hammer horror person. He's just a man called Hammer. If I had a hammer, there'd be boobs in every scene. So this guy variously strangles women, and then it kind of cuts between him strangling a woman, getting her boobs out, and then strangling a woman, or I think in one occasion strangling a woman, then getting her boobs out. It seems to be, I mean, there's some, variation there. Cuts between that, him bringing up this radio station where this woman who's a sort of phone-in psychologist, I'm assuming she's meant to be the main character. I don't know that she has more screen time than the guy that kills people though, so putting on a weird accent, and then it cuts to the police trying to find this guy. Then it cuts back to the murderer, boobs, strangle, back to the radio woman, phone call, back to the police investigating, back to the killer, murder, boobs, murder, and then it just kind of goes on and on like that. I think there's some weird scenes in between times of the killer like working out or selling photographs. It's a bit odd. If I'm honest, the film did struggle to maintain my attention, so that might make actually more sense if you were just sat laser focused. I was not, and as a consequence of that, my memory of it is patchy at best. It's just squalid, and to be honest, it's just shit. The only redeeming part of it actually is the ending, where there's a struggle between one of the policemen and the murderer, and in the struggle the guy just sort of fires his weapon. I think he's still got it holstered, so he just kind of reaches for it and fires it, and it shoots the guy like in the thigh, which sort of puts him on the ground. Obviously the policeman assumes that he's dead, because it only takes one shot to any part of the body to kill a person in a film, which is like never happened. And then he goes and sort of consoles the woman, and then the guy gets up again and tries to run away, I think. I know there's a bit of another struggle And given that this guy is like twice the size of this policeman in every dimension, the policeman somehow manages to overpower him. Although to be fair, the guy is, you know, nursing a wound to the abdomen, so well, fine. Yeah, then the policeman just shoots him a bunch of times in the back in slow motion. I presume because they were aiming for a 90-minute runtime and it ran short at like 87, so they sort of extended that last bit by just doubling the duration of it by slowing it down, I imagine. Then it just stops. You kind of like almost every film after that happens, there's always like a little bit of chill out time before the credits. Like in the one I watched the other night, like Fright Night. After they kill the baddie, there's like another couple of moments, and then the credits, albeit pointless moments. In this, it's just the guy falls into a pool after being shot, and although from my memory of it, he gets shot in the back and then falls forwards into the pool, which suggests that he was going to try and run across the pool in his escape, which wouldn't have worked. So I think either way the guy was going to end up in that pool, you know, one way or another. So yeah, it wasn't very good, to be honest. I don't know why I watched it. I really don't. What was I thinking? Also, why is it called Don't Answer the Phone? Don't Answer the Phone would have been a much better name for the film I watched the night before, where the woman's been stalked by a guy who keeps phoning her. One assumes that if she hadn't answered the phone, he'd have lost interest. Whereas in this one, the guy's ringing like a radio switchboard. So, you know, Don't Answer the Phone isn't really that practical, since the person's job is to answer the phone. Don't Patch the Phone Call Through to the Radio Studio would have been a better name. I mean, it wouldn't have been a better name, it would have been worse, but at least you'd have known what you were getting. So the killer doesn't ring any of the victims ahead of time or anything. Yeah, I don't know. There's also a bit where there's two main policemen, I think. Well, there's sort of three, and there's one who just kind of keeps wisecracking the whole time. It's quite annoying. Could have done with less of him and more of the murderer just working out, all greased and so weird. That happened. I'm not making that up. Yeah, they sort of find they find the guy's place and go in, but it's someone else, and he's like, oh no, it's next door. It's like, what the fuck? So they go next door and find something incriminating. It's like, oh, that's definitely him then. And one of them goes, we got him. But the first time I listened to it, and the 4 or 5 times I rolled it back after that, I thought he says, we got him, like he'd fucked up. And I kept thinking, like, why would you not just reshoot that scene? How long is it going to take you? What, another 5 minutes to reshoot that scene, or dub it over? You know. But I listened to it again multiple times last night, and I think he does say him twice. It's kind of like we got him. It's definitely a change in the way he pronounces it. He enunciates the him the second time. I wonder if he does that because he hears it himself. It sounds a bit like I said her. I better say it again. Yeah, it's crap. I watched a review of it. Well, yeah, I listened to a review of it. Where a guy who, I mean, I would say he's not very good at reviewing films. I would suggest that I'm in any position to judge. Just lavishing praise on it. Oh, it's really subversive and, you know, really challenges. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do any of that. All it is shock for shock's value. It's in the section 3 section of the you know, the film, the obscene sentences thing. There's like 3 categories: films that were prosecuted and banned, films that were prosecuted but they're not banned, and films that were sort of flagged as being shit but not prosecuted. I think I'm right in saying that. This was in the latter of those 3 categories. It shouldn't have been banned. It's alright. There's nothing in it particularly good. I mean, the boobs are gratuitous, but nothing else is. It's just not very good. Like all the video nasties that I've attempted to watch, you question whether the BBFC shouldn't just have banned it on the grounds that it's just pap. Like, no one should be allowed to watch this. It's just a fucking waste of everyone's time. Yeah. So there you go. I hate it. I don't ever hated it. I don't think it stirred enough emotion in me to feel anything about it, really. I just remember thinking, well, that was shit. I mean, right. In order, let me sort of pigeonhole my view of it for clarity. I spent an hour and 27 minutes watching it, and then I thought, I'm going to go to bed. So I went to bed 3 minutes before the end of the film, and I don't mean 3 minutes before the end of the the end of the last scene of the film. I mean the end of the credits. 3 minutes before the film had ended and the video closed down, because I watched it on a AVI or whatever it is. 3 minutes before the whole thing was done, I just paused it and went to bed. That, I think, tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, there you go. Don't answer the phone or watch the film.
Come back soon for the next episode of John Bolton's podcast. What horror movie will he be reviewing? Who knows? Who cares?